Zombies ate my neighbors! This title gets straight to the point. Right off the bat, you know you've signed up for a game that's going to be very tongue-in-cheek. I think that's what people like so much about this game and makes it the cult favorite it has become. It has a great sense of self-awareness and just does things a little bit differently. The game does a great job of implementing all kinds of stuff that would be cool for a kid in the 90s. I mean, the main thing you do is shoot zombies with a water gun and they explode into flames. There's all sorts of other fun stuff too, like trampolines you can jump on, pools you can swim through, and the game even has football players as enemies that can hurt you. Having football players as bad guys is a play on the whole jocks versus nerds thing that was even more relevant back then before video games went mainstream. But it goes even further than that, and does so with the variety of items and weapons you can use. Your squirt gun is the main weapon, but you'll also find stuff like popsicles, cans of soda, plates, silverware, and of course a bazooka. Most of this stuff wouldn't do much damage in real life, except of course the bazooka, but it's fun to see this stuff utilized as weapons, like the soda cans exploding when you throw them. You can also find stuff like a weed whacker, and I find this item especially fun given my personal history with them. You see, growing up I always had to mow my family's lawn and trim the edges with a weed whacker. I remember thinking there were 1,000 more fun things that could be done with a weed whacker than making the yard look good. So naturally, using one as a weapon is very fitting and I appreciate it being included in the game. The weapons are all extra effective against specific enemy types, and it's fun to try to figure that out and manage your inventory. Another fun touch they put into the game is the different kinds of neighbors you save. In particular, the teacher that is holding a paper that says F- on it. Different types of neighbors are all worth a different amount of points, and you guessed it, the teacher is only worth a measly 10 points. What players may not realize is how the actual game works on a more detailed level. They know they're supposed to save the neighbors and shoot the bad guys, but there's more depth than that. You see, at the beginning of the game you start with 10 neighbors, and however many you save will be the amount of neighbors you need to save in the next stage. But why would you want to save more neighbors then? Isn't that more work? Well, yes, but you want to keep enough neighbors around because when you get to 0 neighbors, it's game over. You're more likely to run out of lives first, but there's a way around that as well. You see, with points you can earn bonus neighbors, but you can only ever have a maximum of 10 neighbors. So when you already have 10 neighbors and are about to earn another one, you'll earn an extra life instead, which is far more valuable. So, as you can see, this game has that good old-fashioned arcade-style gameplay, but with a little more depth that makes it more interesting. To me, that's really what makes games from this era great. They have the influence from the arcades at the time, which gives them fun and accessible gameplay, but with a little more depth than a lot of arcade games could afford to have, since they knew the players would be playing it at home and be willing to invest more time into it. Now, this game has 48 stages with 7 bonus stages. It is a long game. There are passwords you can obtain, but unfortunately they don't give you your items back. The best luck I've had is by just trying to progress from one password to the next, each time with a fresh set of lives. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the theme of this game: zombies. Zombies eventually became a staple in video games and felt like they were just getting shoved into every game. But back when this game came out, it was a much more unique idea and more of a novelty. The theme of the game is great, and it pays tribute to a lot of classic horror films. Even just the cover art and title alone show an appreciation for the genre. The music is of course very fitting as well, and a lot of it really sticks out while you're playing. Oh, and how can I talk about this game without mentioning the 2-player co-op mode? This is a fun game to play with a friend and will really require communication as you're locked to the same screen. This is a great game to play around Halloween time, but also just any time of the year. It's a tough game to beat, and so you'll be able to come back to it many times before you ever beat it. Alright, so let everybody know in the comments how far you've gotten in this game, and I will see ya in the next video.